What's going on, everybody? It's your friend Will. We are back. It's the Memory Lapse, and we're gonna try another build of the red white. Obviously, not a lot of changes here. It feels like the core to this deck is firming up. You want your Teferis, you want your Insights, your Clarions, your Ionizes, some number of other sweepers. In this case, we're only gonna run one Cleansing Nova, some mix of permission. So this build is running 3 Syncopates, 2 Strokes with the Ionizes, and then only 2 expansions. It has 2 main deck Crackling Drake, 2 main deck Disdainful Stroke, which is covered, and 2 Blink of an Eye. So cutting some of it's kind of like less singletons than the last version we played, and the sideboard is more similar to the things that kind of trashed us in the mirror. So we have the Legion Warboss, which is just like, I don't know, this just seems insane in the mirror. Shalai, Lyra, Niv-Mizzet, another expansion, Settle, and Negate. So a lot of the stuff, I would guess, we're deciding in the Negates, the Warbosses, the Niv-Mizzets, and the expansion. So 6, 7, 8, 9 cards that we're bringing in. So I'm guessing we're taking out the Lightning Strikes, the Clarions, so 7, 8. Possibly a Blink of an Eye, something like that in the sideboard, and then just hoping that they're not on a similar plan, or if they are, that we can match them. I like this. I prefer this than trying to bring in a ton more counter magic and then hoping, or having to leave in some Clarion. So let's see how it plays out. Jump into competitive constructed here. Red white deck, our Jeskai control deck. Yeah, Niv-Mizzet just seems way better than Nezahal. Comes down a turn earlier, draws you more cards, just closes the game faster. We had a really hard time dealing with opposing. It's 2 of the 3 mirror matches we played. The last competitive constructed event we ran this style of deck. While we're loading, I'll thank everybody again for liking, subscribing, just enjoying the channel. Let's see, do we have anyone new we can shout out? We did get quite a few new subscribers yesterday, but I'm not sure how many of them have come through. Let's take a quick look. And let's look at our hand here. So, Disdainful Stroke, Chemister's Insight. I think we can keep this. We're on the play, which helps. Let's take a look. Alright, we've got one friend here whose name is in Korean, which I cannot pronounce. And Diego Perez Somariba, Plumikin, David Gertz, Exorcist 101. I know that's only some of them. So apologies to anyone who didn't get shouted out here. And apologies to my opponent for us tanking on our turn 1 like that. Alright, so they're on green-black. Hopefully our insight will draw us into some kind of sweeper. Sweeper into Disdainful Stroke should be good enough. If we can catch one of their planeswalkers with this. Midnight Reaper. You got it. This is a nice counterplay to our Clarion. That we didn't find. Still didn't find. So, I think we're just playing Sacred Foundry tapped. Taking 6 here, and using our Chemister's Insight. Looks like they're stuck. Blue, red, so it doesn't really matter. There's the Clarion. Yeah. So I think the play here. Clarion, we give them 2 cards. We hold up Disdainful Stroke for a 4-drop Planeswalker that they may have. Rather than play Search for Azcanta here. Search is not that close to flipping anyways. Alright. I wonder if they'll keep that. They do keep it. Okay. So with Blink here, I think we are going to run out the Teferi. Plus, Ionize is a nice one to draw. So we can kind of protect Teferi here from... Alright. Well, actually, let Teferi take the hit. This is great. Alright, so we're going to counter this here, because whatever they cast is 3 mana, so we're not going to be able to Disdainful Stroke it. And also, we know that their hand, whatever, doesn't seem to have too much stuff that they can cast for just 3, the way that they've been playing. Unless they drew. I mean, we knew they drew this. Alright, fine. So they're going to get back to creatures. That's fine for us. That's fine for us. Grow Teferi. Play a land. Get searched down. Untap. So I think we're going to blink this. Oh, we need double blue. Let's go blue, white, white, blue. We get to cycle. We still have Chemister's Insight mana and Disdainful Stroke mana. Preserve our Teferi for another turn, which means we get another card. Orphic Branchwalker is fine. Jadelight Ranger is also fine. Right. And push it? Yeah. Alright, so let's Insight. Another Sweeper would be fantastic here. Called Shot. We want that. Resolve. Alright, so let's play the island here. We're going to want as much mana as we can have available to us with the Syncopate now. We can flip Search for Azcanta next turn. Alright, so Carnage Tyrant is a card we cannot interact with. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We might just be looking to draw 4 at the end of their turn here. Try to find our 1 Wrath. Four to you, friend. 4 for me. Lightning Strike. Go to the graveyard. We will transform. Alright, so we didn't find the Wrath, but we're not dead. So it looks like we're just discarding here. Oh, I should have done the Azcanta thing. So let's get rid of, how many lands we have? 2, 3, 4. This is going to my face. Not too surprising. Night Reaper. Let's Ionize this. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven. Ionize this. Alright, so we can actually win the game here if we find a expansion. Explosion. So let's make sure we do this right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 minus 4 is 7, but then we can float 2 with Teferi. So we have to set a stop in our end step here. Oh wow, it just shortcut that for us. Oh, well, we can still do it. So we go to our end step. Teferi's trigger goes on the stack. We float blue, blue. Resolve. Untap. And now we have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 mana available to us, which is Explosion for 9. We could have done that in our main phase if we had plus first and played the untapped land. We could have gotten them for exactly 8, but we had it all locked up. It was just a matter of negotiating the interface here to make sure that we got it done. So against Carnage Tyrants, I think we do want these settles, even though I don't think it's amazing against their deck. Good to have those extra answers. The question is, what do we cut on the draw? Maybe we cut like Blink is probably good because it's their planeswalkers. Like, the gates are good against their planeswalkers too, so we might want to bring those in. Though they could be on like a planeswalker list or a lower number of planeswalkers. On the draw, Syncopate might not be so good. Maybe like one Chemister's in sight. Are the Blinks good enough? Negates might be better than Blinks. Maybe we should try 2 Negates. I am worried about their planeswalkers. We could have considered cutting the Crackling Drakes. I kind of didn't like see them in the middle of my deck there. And speak of. Alright. Oh, this is like kind of a borderline keep because we do have like 2 sweepers. We do have a lot of lands in our deck, 27. Alright, I think if we draw 1, we get well enough paid off here. Although we are pretty far from casting this Drake because of this basic planes. Alright, so very bad. If we want to be results oriented, very bad keep. Alright, so I think we're going to shock here and play Search. And help us find more lands. And then hopefully, like, giving them the cards off Clarion is not great, but... Library, we want you. Keep the pressure off. Last game we stabilized at 8, so we're technically ahead of where we were last game. And we have a Search in play. Yep, so this is the downside. Is that we don't get to keep Negate up for Vivian Reed. Oh, but if we do draw land here... Oh, we don't. Okay. If we had drawn land, we could have slammed Teferi. And at least been going, like, shot for shot on Planeswalker activations. Jade Light hits. We're keeping the Fine Broker. Just to keep the board clear. Alright, we can't really make any other plays, so we're just going to Clarion this away. We're in a lot of trouble now that our Azcanta got blown up. Again, we don't have the Negate for the Nebraska, so we're probably going to scoop here against 2 Planeswalkers that we can't remove. Yeah, we're just going to scoop for the sake of brevity in the videos. We're just never going to beat this. So yeah, let's take these Drakes out, because I don't think this is the way we're going to win. Let's put definitely a Syncopate back in when we're on the play. And let's put a Blink back in as well, as like a kind of a rebuy on if we miss the window to counter a Planeswalker. I think we just want all their Chupacabras and stuff to be dead. So we're not going to bring in Niv-Mizzet. Like, Lightning Strike's actually not even that bad, because it can hit a Planeswalker. Alright, so let's keep. Let's see a decent starting hand. And finally put a beat down on one of these green-black decks. Alright, we can keep this. We have Clarion, we have Teferi. First Planeswalker initiative. Hopefully. And this deck definitely prefers to flood out rather than miss. Orange tea. Pushed. Wow. How good is their hand? Alright, we're not going to Clarion 1 for 1 here. I'm guessing they have their 3-2 again. That's been like a super nice follow-up for them. Oh, they're duressing us here. They're taking it to Teferi. Alright, we haven't seen a 4-mana Planeswalker for them. But still, I think it's okay to take one more hit. And that way next turn we can go Stroke. We can go Clarion with Stroke backup. This one they don't know about, so we're going to play this one. Alright. Jade Light Ranger hits. We have Ionize now. I think we're okay taking 2. This is just going to be a Carnage Tyrant. Is that why they pushed it before? Alright, so we're very lucky here to have double Clarion call, or Deafening Clarion. Because they saw our hand 3 turns ago, so they know we just ripped consecutive Clarions. Alright, they got Vraska. Very annoying. Yeah, I mean, actually, we just kind of lost here, huh? This is what we were talking about, like, why this deck is so good. Because it has the Planeswalkers. Like, okay, you answer their board, untap Planeswalker. And I think we just have to play Teferi Plus and hope we find something good. Minusing is not a play, because we just lose our Teferi immediately. I wish we had Mulligan game too, because these games when both players are doing stuff are still really close, and you really just can't afford to keep hands like that. All right. Oh, that's gonna suck. Okay. Yep. I mean, that Teferi, we're either dying next turn to the ultimate here, so like losing the Teferi, or we're losing the Teferi to the Plate Crafter. Huh. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So we can buy ourselves a turn by expansioning this for 4, which I think we have to do. This still is a very feels bad play. We still don't find another, like Settle would be sick. Damn. It's so easy to get buried by a Vraska on this side of the matchup. But I think we also just can't afford to ignore the Carnage Tyrant. We're in exactly the same spot the following turn, where it's lethal, we have to play 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So thinking I guess on their turn we're just flashing back Chemister's Insight. That lets us see more cards than the Teferi, and hoping we find... I actually should have done this on our turn, because I guess I do have my one Wrath versus like the Settles. But maybe they'll read this as like, I have Settle now, I don't know. We just got buried by these Planeswalkers. Alright, we missed. It's GG. Ooh. That matchup is like so... It's so rough. It's so rough when you draw yourself out of sequence. I want to look at my sideboard again. It just seems like you need everything. Like, you need the sweepers. You need answers to the Planeswalkers. I think this deck is missing, like, Ixalan's Binding and stuff. Like, you need something that's cheap on your turn that you can use to get rid of a Planeswalker. Ixalan's Binding had its own issues of, like, okay, it still gets hit by Assassin's Trophy, it gets hit by both Vraska's minus and Vivian Reed's minus. But it's really, really hard to control the board at sorcery speed and be able to interact with the planeswalkers. Like the blinks, I guess, help in theory, but we just didn't find them in that game 3, and we just didn't really play a game 2. Legion Warboss seems miserable. Lyra and Niv-Mizzet both just get eaten by Chupacabra, but maybe we bring them in and hope that they don't know that the Chupacabra's there. Or like maybe they take the Chupacabra out and they leave it just for Aska's Contempt and try to overload that. On the play, I wonder if we should have timed it differently. It's tough. It's hard to know exactly what went wrong there. We had an answer to the Carnage Tyrant. Not the ideal one. So the one big misplay was just not Chemister's Inciting again on our turn to try to find the one Cleansing Nova. But it's still a losing proposition, right? Because they still have 2 Planeswalkers going. It just felt impossible to keep them from resolving them when they have an uncounterable Carnage Tyrant we have to deal with. Maybe that game would have been a lot easier if we had just drawn the Settle. If we had drawn the Settle, we could have settled away the Carnage Tyrant, which only costs 4, and we would have had Disdainful Stroke mana up to catch the Planeswalker. And then we actually get to like untap, play a Teferi, and then if they follow up a Vivian Reed, we can just minus the Vivian Reed. So maybe that's it, like sequence-wise. Not that we ever had the opportunity to do that, but maybe that's kind of the scenario where we could have beat that draw. Yeah. It definitely seems winnable. I mean, we won game 1, and we stabilized at 8 life, then 1 life. So I think it's a winnable matchup. But sometimes they're just gonna overwhelm you, and your answers are not gonna line up. That's just how control decks work. Yeah, that's it for round 1. And thanks for watching. We'll be back soon with round 2.